It's 2017, May 2017, 9 years ago now. We had land, we had a builder, and we had contracts signed. After decades, and I mean decades, of being trapped in the rental cycle, it looked like everything was moving. And then the phone rang. I'm Jack. I'm in Melbourne. It's 9 years since it started. I'm not a financial planner. I'm not a health professional. I'm not a wisdom guru or an influencer. I've got 15 subscribers. I'm just a bloke, an ordinary guy, drives trains for a living. Been doing the same job for 22 years in West Australia, Tasmania, now in Melbourne. But I'm sure there's plenty of people who are in their 50s now who can think back to, say, when they were in their 40s and they had to make a big call. They weren't sure. It was a decision, and we get these decisions. So this is my story. There is no scoreboard for this. You've got to make a call. You live with your decision. Other versions of you will still exist, but the version that sticks with you is the one that you've actually used to make that call. And when decisions involve a house, your retirement, and when I made this decision I was 44, so I was 21 years away from retirement, but it involved my retirement. The weight of all this doesn't get any bigger. It's just one of those decisions where you've got to do the maths. And being an orphan, my wife's an orphan, we don't have an older generation to call upon when we have to make tough life decisions. We have to work together as a couple. So, 9 years ago, we're in Burnie. Not many people have heard of it. I was working in Burnie, I was living in a vineyard. Burnie's one of 5 cities in Tasmania. Doesn't have a lot. We had a good employer, not a secure employer, but 22 years in the railway, I've never had a secure employer. They all got, well, you have a secure job, you can go anywhere as a train driver, but contracts come up and down. So we secured a block of land. This is January 2017. The builder contacted us, he gave us a block of land, told us where it was, we got to stand on the ground, we got to hold the clay in our hands, we got to walk the perimeter, map out our dream house. We were going to actually build the dream home that we'd planned on building since we got married in 2001. But it's that honest feeling you get, you know, when you can tangibly touch something that everybody has told you is beyond your reach. The Australian government doesn't care about divorced men. We can't get the first homeowners grant. Our wife's, you know, we got that in our first marriage. I can't get that. My wife's never been able to get it. I'm her first marriage, but I've had a house in my previous marriage. So we've got this problem now since 2001 where we're paying someone else's mortgage. You know, you just stop and think about that. Who's more important, your family or someone else's mortgage? Then the phone rang. I got a job offer, and this is no ordinary job offer. It was going to be in Melbourne. Now, I grew up in Melbourne. My wife was born in Melbourne. Melbourne is where we wanted to retire, but we couldn't get a job here, so we took a job. We moved from West Australia in 2012 to Tasmania. We took the job in Tassie so we could travel more often back to Melbourne. And here we are, we're getting offered a job in Melbourne. 150k a year while you're under training. That doesn't include weekend penalties or any night shift or anything like that. And you compare that to Burnie, where we were on 70,000 a year, and that included penalties, you know, that included working weekends, working Christmas. You work every Christmas, you work every birthday. You never get time to go to the football. That's part of the life of a train driver. But the big difference came in the superannuation. Now, we can't ever afford to buy a house in Melbourne. even if I sunk my entire superannuation into it, I'd have not a cent to live on. The housing market here is crazy, and unless interest rates go up to 24% again, which is what my parents paid for interest rates back in the 1980s, unless we get high interest rates, housing prices in Melbourne are too high for us. So we've given up the dream of owning a home in Tassie to move to a place where we know we can't own a home, but it's where our heart lies. But the retirement looks super healthy. Now, as I said, I'm an orphan. I can't run into mum and dad and say, what decision do I make? How do I do this? What's this going to be? You know, there's no easy solution to ask someone. You've got to actually make the decision, and you've got to make it as a couple. But I talked to a financial planner, and I had a family lawyer in Tasmania. You had to have one with my employer down there, but that's how feral the employer was. You needed to actually have a lawyer. And I sat down with both of them and I said, well, what's the go here? And they said, well, the employment in Tasmania is like this. And that's how the lawyer described it. I had both of them in the same room. The lawyer said, it goes like that. If they lose, that they lost the contract in Queenstown because there was 2 fatalities in the mine, so the mine shut down. If they lose the Coles contract and they lose some freight contracts, then they're going to sack more people, and they'd already sacked people. So there's no guarantee staying in Tassie. You'll be working for them for 21 years till you retire. That was pivotal. And as a financial planner said to me, you've got 100,000 in super, this is 2017. On 70k, you're going to barely scrape 350,000, probably 300 if the market goes up and down, which it's done now because of Donald Trump. And he did the sums on the wage in Tasmania, the wage here up in Melbourne. And he said, after training, you're on XYZ. Your super in the first 5 years in Melbourne will be greater than the super in 21 years in Tasmania. He said, you will get super around 800 to 900k in Melbourne. Compare that to 350k in Tasmania at 65. And the employment's more secure here. Not just with who I work for now, but there's 6 railway companies in Victoria. There's 1 in Tasmania. So if you do lose your job here, you can move around the family, and train drivers are in a family. It's important to explain it this way. There's no spreadsheet for making life's decisions, especially decisions as important as this. My first marriage broke down because we made a decision that saw us lose our house. We had to sell our house to chase my employment dream. And my first wife walked out on me. There's a whole more to that, and that's a big video that I'll make because plenty of people go through divorce, and that was in my 20s. So making life decisions like this, I don't make lightly, you know. The most important thing is a happy wife, happy life. Talk to your wife. Now, she wants to be in Melbourne, but she's got to give up her home. She's always wanted to be in Melbourne. So we had to give up something tangible, like owning a house is tangible. The security of feeling like you're in your own home and not in a rental. Now, the rental that we had in Tassie, we were very lucky. We had a nice landlord. We were in a fishing village, a vineyard. 2,000 people, everybody knew your name. I was a member of the yacht club, member of the camera club. Everybody knows who you are. And I worked on the weekend markets down there. So our landlord was not on the property, but he was in the community, and you knew the person that owned the house. So that we had a good situation, 220 a week. Moved to Melbourne. I've lost count in 9 years. 1, 2, 3. I think we are on our 4th rental now. Our first one lasted 6 months. The landlord would sit at the front gate after he finished work each day until the sun went down. So he'd get there about 5 o'clock and then leave at about 8 o'clock. Didn't do anything. He would just sit there and watch the house. He was from Yugoslavia, and him and his son were renderers. They would render buildings outside of brickwork. And they would sit there to make sure we weren't damaging their house. We stayed there for 6 months and we got the heck out of there. I won't go through it. There's a whole video on the crap of living in Melbourne. It's a beautiful city, but God, there's some problems here. So we had the nice quiet pace of Tasmania. Beautiful place. Absolutely amazing place. And we surrendered that for the noise, the hustle and the bustle of Melbourne. Now 220 to 250 a week was the average down there in Tassie. We were lucky. We're renting at the moment, and I don't think it's 650 anymore. I think it actually, I've lost count of what it is because they no longer talk in weekly rental amounts here. They talk in monthly, but it's $37,000 a year we're paying for someone else's mortgage in this house. When you think I'm paying $70,000 plus in tax, it's a heck of a lot of money to just lose out of your income when you're trying to, you know, the government say, oh, save 5%, you can get a house. How the, you know, do you save 5%? So there's a different version of me that still lives in my mind, that still lives down in Tasmania. You know, when I'm having a bad day at work, I think, I love Tassie, but you can be a prisoner in Tasmania too. It's an island. You are trapped, encircled by water, and there's only so many places you can drive to when everybody knows your name. But I do think about what the other life of me would have been. I don't think about it with regret. I think about it honestly, you know. You assess yourself. So we won't keep this video going forever, because I know you've got things to do. The thing is, did we make the right choice? You know? Alright, honestly, financially, yes, financially we made the right choice. I mean, this year will be close to 200k a year, most of which goes to the taxman and in rent, you know. I've got more loans and more debt than I've ever had in my life here in Melbourne. We get 20 days notice on our current lease if the owner wants us out. So if the owner says you've got to go, he gives you 20 days. And that 20 days you've got to find $1,000 to clean the house. It's in the contract. And you've got to find $5,000 plus to rent another house. And you've got to be able to find one in 20 days and move. So it's very unstable, the living environment. But I've been lucky. We've been in this house 3 years. It's coming up close to one of our longest times. But 9 years, 5 homes. When we started off 16 k's away from work, we're now 44 k's away from work. Where we were that was 16 k's from work is now over 60,000 a year in rent. We can't afford that. I'm not giving anybody that kind of money to live that close. Family. We made the right decision as a family. We're looking at our retirement now at 60 instead of 65. If we stayed in Tassie, as a financial planner said to me, you'd have to either work to your 69 or out of that 350,000 that you get for your superannuation, you would have to give at least 100 of that into your mortgage to get yourself debt free. Our mortgage would be 20 years of a 25-year mortgage paid off when I retired. Emotionally, personally, I don't know. My health, I made the right choice. Tasmania has the worst health service in the country, by far. And I didn't think that when I got there. I moved out of regional WA to Tassie, and I thought Tassie's health was great until I moved up here to Melbourne. And I've lost 37 kilos in 10 months. My cholesterol is perfect. My body health is in the best shape it's been in since I was 23. I've got a really good doctor. And I have 2 doctors. I have a chief medical officer of the railways who I see on a regular basis, and I have my regular GP who I see every 4 weeks as well. And I've got a great medical team. You know, my cardiovascular health is perfect at the moment. Don't count on that. You know. So we made the smart choice. We made the right choice. Did we? We'll never know. But if you're in your 40s, or you're even in your 50s, and you've had a similar choice, I really would like you to tell me in the comments exactly how you went about it. Did you make it on your own? Did it cost you your marriage? Like, first time I did this, it cost me my marriage. Just leave me a comment. I want to hear some genuine thoughts. I want to talk to some people. Anyway, I'm Jack. Stay safe. And I'll talk to you next week.